ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. That file show. Come back. What? On game what? On game what? Come here. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. Come here.
So King Harris's whole life just spiraled after Tiny finally hit T.I. with those divorce papers. And she did it right after King's reckless arrest blew up online. The crazy part is, T.I. didn't even bother fighting the split. He just let it ride, and now the family's in shambles. People are pointing fingers everywhere, and it's getting ugly. Some say the parents spoiled King rotten, while others say King threw it all away just to play gangster.
I need you to step out the vehicle.
What you want to do? You want to take my glad off my head?
Yes, sir.
There's one in the head.
Does your buddy have one as well?
It's guns right here.
All right, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
There's no safety. You gotta take.
There's no safety.
You take
okay.
the out.
Well, I'm not gonna mess around with that too much. Let me just set this down right here. You'd step out for me. Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me. All right, right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest.
Are you scared?
Where you're going away. I'm gonna be at the church.
For outsiders, Tiny and T.I. breaking up might feel shocking since they've been through decades of love, kids, and chaos together. But behind closed doors, cracks had been forming for years, and the breaking point came in October 2024. That's when King's wild arrest put the entire family under a microscope and forced everyone's dirty laundry into the spotlight. It all went down at a gas station when King pulled out in his BMW, driving like he had nothing to lose, and nearly smashed into a police cruiser. And of course, the timing couldn't have been worse. When the officer stopped him, the first thing they smelled was straight-up weed pouring out of the car. Then, to make things even worse, they spotted a gun tucked in his waistband. At that point, it wasn't just reckless. It was career-ending vibes. They confiscated the weapon, cuffed him on the spot, and ran his name. That's when everything completely unraveled. Turns out, King wasn't just facing one mistake.
People hit me up like, King, I know you tired. You ain't getting no sleep. And the truth be told, before this I ain't been getting no sleep. You know what I'm saying? I just been outside working, lifestyle. You know, lifestyle just lifing. You know what I'm saying? And, but now I'm damn sure not getting no sleep. This up every morning, and then around the morning time, he like to do that little live concert I be doing with him. And, he like to walk around the house. So,
he had an active warrant dating all the way back to 2022. Overspeeding, driving on a suspended license, and even a DUI were still hanging over his head like a storm cloud. If King had just kept calm and moved smart that night, maybe he could have walked away with a slap on the wrist. But instead, every bad choice from his past came crashing down on him all at once. And when they tore him apart, fans clowning him, critics dragging him, and haters calling him a wannabe thug who blew a silver platter life to chase street clout. The wildest part about that leaked video was how different King looked. Like reality finally smacked him in the face. This wasn't the usual loudmouth King wilding out for social media clout. In the 30-minute clip, you could see it in his eyes. Regret. He wasn't snapping. He wasn't clowning. He was just sitting there, calm, like he finally realized the only way to keep this from getting worse was to play it cool and cooperate.
Of King.
To make him look better, he know not to. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did have a silver spoon.
Look, used to have to come to my grandma's house because I'm getting in the fight.
You cried like a baby to go to your grandma's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath.
Every day.
I know you. I know you.
Shut up.
I know you.
Shut up.
I know you.
Ain't
though.
no mystery about here.
I know you though.
Man,
I know
get
you
your
don't.
fat ass-
I know. I know you don't. I know you. What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all doing that to me? Y'all know me. You know I stand on business.
And for King, that's rare, because we've all seen him act like he's untouchable in public. Even the arresting officer seemed caught off guard by how chill he stayed through the whole thing. But let's be real, it didn't save him. They still hauled him off to DeKalb County Jail, then transferred him to Pickens once that old warrant caught up with him. By the time the footage went viral, fans were already dragging him without mercy. One comment that blew up called him a trust fund prison punk, and people ate it up. Another went in, saying he hides behind his parents' money while pretending he's from the struggle. The internet was clowning him like never before. But here's the twist. King wasn't the only one catching heat from all this. His mess spilled right into his parents' marriage, ripping those cracks even wider until the whole thing collapsed.
Me and giving my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas, his ass going to prison. If you got to keep that shit up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had that conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Cause I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's gonna turn out.
T.I. tried to pose as the broken-hearted father, but Tiny, she was livid, and she came with receipts. In her divorce paperwork, she literally listed King's downward spiral as the final straw that pushed her to walk away for good. That's how deep this mess cut. The craziest part? T.I. didn't even fight it. He didn't beg, he didn't push, he didn't try to fix anything. It was like he just threw his hands up and said, I did my part, the rest is on him. And to be fair, he wasn't lying. Back in 2022, when King first started trending for his reckless antics, T.I. went online begging him to slow down before he ended up in a cell. He even told Tiny and King's grandmother that the boy was speeding straight into disaster. But nobody listened, and now, it's exactly where they are. I kept warning everybody that they needed to keep a close eye on King before he completely threw his life away.
I know you. I know you. I know you.
Shut up. Shut
I
up.
know you
Ain't no
don't.
mystery about his
I know you don't.
Man,
I know
get
you
your
don't.
fat ass-
I know. I know you don't.
And he wasn't just talking as a father. He was talking as a man who had already lived that nightmare. T.I. had been to prison, paid the price, and didn't want to watch his own son walk down the exact same road. But Tiny wasn't buying it at all. In fact, she used those same words as ammo in the divorce, flipping it right back on him. She claimed, I failed to step up as a real father, and that if he had been stricter and more present in King's life, maybe their son wouldn't have strayed so far off course. And honestly, she had a point, that I was bouncing in and out of prison from the very moment Tiny found out she was pregnant. By the time he was home for good, King was already used to growing up without a strong father figure around. And even when he was around, it didn't change much, because allegedly, T.I. was quick to ship King off to his grandmother's house instead of keeping him close. King himself once admitted that even though his parents were wealthy, he never really lived that lifestyle. He said his reality was living with his grandma, and the only times he'd even step foot in his parents' mansion were when cameras were rolling for their reality show. Imagine that. Only being welcomed into your parents' home when it was time to play the perfect family for TV. With a setup like that, it's no wonder King started seeking validation and distractions in the streets. And every stunt he pulled just dragged him closer to a future in handcuffs. One moment that really showed how far gone he was came during his infamous Waffle House meltdown in 2022. It all started over something as small as a worker accidentally adding pickles to his order.
A while ago, when T.I.'s son King was getting a lot of flack and a lot of heat in the media, that to me, he just looked like a young kid that wanted to prove to his father that he was a man too.
Instead of brushing it off, King blew up. He started screaming at the employee, recording the whole altercation, and blasting it on social media like it was some kind of flex. But instead of looking tough, the video just made him look like a spoiled brat who couldn't handle a sandwich, and fans quickly started questioning why T.I. was letting him run wild without consequences. When T.I. dropped that video warning King to straighten up, Tiny was all that tough talk should have happened years ago when King was still impressionable. Not now, after the damage was already done. Things cooled down for a bit, but T.I.'s disappointment in his son couldn't stay buried. It all came spilling out during an Atlanta Falcons game where a father-son argument exploded in front of everyone, and it didn't stop at words. The whole mess started when King tried to claim he didn't grow up privileged. That set T.I. off instantly. He jumped in, shutting King down by reminding him that he had a silver spoon from the start. King wasn't trying to hear it, and before anyone knew it, he was swinging on his own father. The clip spread like wildfire online, racking up thousands of views in hours, and people couldn't stop talking. Some were praising T.I. for finally checking his son, saying things like, "That discipline was overdue," and "If you don't correct them early, they'll turn on you later."
This so motherfucking 12 pull up and they say, hey, who do you belong to? Who raised their hand? Somebody got to raise their hand. I've been seeing him around too there a lot. You gonna raise your own hand? I've been seeing him around too. Huh? Well, when you got drugs, it ain't. I know that. Y'all got drugs around those legal guns. That called, it's not legal. Possession of a firearm and commission of a crime, sir. That is a felony. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Others just shook their heads, posting, "King's been out of control. Pray for their family." But while the internet was siding with T.I., Tiny was furious. To her, he didn't just discipline King, he humiliated him in front of the world. And when she got home to discover T.I. had straight up kicked King out of the house to fend for himself, that was the final straw. Tiny felt he had gone way too far, pushing her closer to walking away for good. And that wasn't the only grievance Tiny was carrying. In those divorce papers, she laid it all out. T.I.'s constant cheating, the violent streak she endured, and the years of empty promises about stood by him through betrayal after betrayal, only to watch him spin lies while building a tough guy image. By the time King crashed into his own chaos, Tiny wasn't just angry at her son. She was staring at the man who raised him and realizing the cycle had never been broken. That's why she finally pulled the trigger on the divorce. What really broke her was seeing King mirror his father's old mistakes, chasing the same jail stints and flexing the same reckless bravado that once gave T.I. his reputation. So when T.I. disowned King after that arrest, Tiny snapped. Because to her, he wasn't just cutting off his son, he was cutting off his own reflection.
I became a father, so I got 2 grandchildren now.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, I got 2 granddaughters. I got a grandson on the way.
Wow.
King's about to have a son.
King's about to have a son. Congrats.
Yeah. And I told him I'm gonna make this the greatest gangster of all times. I will raise this child to torture you the way that you tortured me. I promise you, there will be an indictment in this young one.
And the saddest part, King is so desperate for his father's approval and wild like prison stripes or some kind of badge of honor. After that arrest footage leaked, some people even claim King set himself up on purpose, just to earn stripes and prove he belonged in the streets for real. Some people online actually claimed King had finally earned the street stripes he'd been chasing for years. They said he'd proven himself enough to wear the tough guy label he always wanted. Others argued it was never about the streets at all. It was about impressing his father, and every wild stunt was just a desperate play for T.I.'s respect. And judging by how things played out, maybe it worked. Remember that viral moment when T.I. and Boosie had to check their sons on camera? King and Boosie's boy, Tootie Raw, were supposed to be filming a music video, but instead of focusing on the music, they were busy flexing guns like they were in a trap house audition. That's when the dad stormed in, and you could hear the frustration in T.I.'s voice as he pressed King, demanding to know why he was so obsessed with looking hard when there were girls right there watching. It instantly turned into a lecture, and T.I. didn't hold back. He broke it down plain and simple. One slip up, one wrong move with those guns, and their lives could be ruined forever. Both T.I. and Boosie were serious, and the look on their faces showed they weren't just talking for the cameras. This was about saving their sons before it was too late. On the surface, it looked like Ty was finally trying to reach King and stop him from running headfirst into disaster. But when Tiny heard about the whole scene, she was livid. Not because she approved of King's reckless behavior, but because she felt T.I. was once again airing their son's business for the world to see. And in her eyes, it was hypocritical. because King wasn't doing anything he hadn't already seen his father do back in the day. But if the gun flashing wasn't enough to break her, what really pushed Tiny over the edge was King's baby mama drama. Out of nowhere, T.I. went on a podcast and casually announced that he was about to be a grandfather again because King had a baby on the way. Tiny was blindsided. To her, it sounded like T.I. was celebrating and endorsing King's behavior instead of calling it out. And then came the whispers, way older than him. Some people even speculated she only got with him to secure a bag, and that he was too young and naive to even realize it. But King, he didn't care one bit. He was hyped about fatherhood, bragging about it on social media. And by the time his baby was born in November 2024, he was over the moon. Posting nonstop, showing off his new role.
Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas, his going to prison?
They saw a reckless kid pretending he was changed while the proof of his downfall was trending. They tried to stand by him, but the disappointment kept leaking through. And for Tiny, that was unforgivable. But the fact that T.I. was so ashamed of King that he didn't even want to share the same roof with him, that shattered her completely. So when those divorce papers landed, nobody was shocked. It was the final nail in a marriage that had been splitting for years. Tiny had reached her breaking point. She's done covering, done protecting, done saving face. Now it's all on T.I. Does he finally step up and repair what's left, or does he stay silent like he did with King? Because at this point, silence might mean the whole family is already finished. What do you think? Is this the end for T.I. and Tiny? Or can they bounce back from all this? And I'll catch you on the next one.